Godfrey Bloom, now independent MEP for Yorkshire and the Humber. First of all, revisiting what happened since the summer, because it's been a little while since we've spoken to you. What was it that actually lost you the whip in those events around your party conference?
I'm not quite sure. It depends what television programme you watch and what Nigel's got to say on the day. So to be brutally frank, I haven't a clue, but it doesn't matter. Because my first letter of resignation actually went through in February of this year, because I've sort of parted company with UKIP on matters of policy. Now, make no mistake, I'm still a member of UKIP, I'm still a supporter of UKIP, I wish them well. I shall be voting UKIP at the next election, the Euro elections, but I was a founder member of UKIP, and I'm a radical, I'm a libertarian, I'm a low taxer, free trader, and all the things that I want are not something that UKIP has come with me on, or they've moved away. So I thought it wasn't right for me to be a spokesman for a party with which I didn't really have in-depth sympathy. But however, having said that, as I say, as far as leaving the European Union is concerned, I'm 100% on side.
So surrounding those events and that happened in the autumn, even if you felt that you were moving away from the party on policy grounds, do you regret some of those things that happened? For example, the whole incident with Michael Crick and the events involving comments about women, for example. Are those things that in retrospect you wish hadn't happened?
No, I don't do any regrets. I'm not a person who does regrets. At my age, regret is a complete waste of what remains of your life. Let's get a couple of things straight. The slut joke was a joke. It was clearly a joke. It's been played to death. Everybody who's listened to it knows it was a joke. And of course, some people made political capital out of it. Diane James, my colleague, couldn't wait to run outside and speak to the Daily Telegraph and condemn me. And she was one of the people in there who laughed. So with that sort of deceit going on in politics, typical politics. As for Michael Crick, you know, most people have only seen sort of 20 seconds of the clip. He was hounding me and goading me for nearly 10 minutes, chasing me down the street when I'd already said I didn't want to give an interview, so I swatted him like I would a blue bottle with a magazine. Do I regret it? I certainly do not regret it, and if he does it again, he'll get another swat.
And before we move on to what's happened since, I understand that in following that incident with Michael Crick, that you did an interview with Paul Brand from ITV Yorkshire, in which you said, in reference to that Michael Crick incident, "You treat me badly, you'll get a lot worse than that. That's a threat to any journalist." And I'm praising a little bit what you said, but what did you mean by that?
You're actually praising quite a lot, but I haven't said anything to him that I haven't just said to you. I expect to be treated with respect. We've done many an interview here, haven't we? Many an interview. Have you ever known me be rude or impolite or anything other than straight? 10 years. Hundreds of interviews, but I expect the same respect given to me as I give to journalists. Generally speaking, I get it. And if I don't get it, as I say, watch out. I'm just an ordinary chap from the rugby club, not a professional politician.
There are two elections coming up then. The 2014 election, of course, the European elections, and then the following year, the general election. Are you going to be standing in one or either or both of those?
Well, I'm under a lot of pressure at the moment to stand as an independent because my post bag now has sort of gone over 12,000. I have a big support from people who like common sense and the truth, of which is most of the British public. So but having said that, I don't think I'll stand as an independent because we have in UKIP such a very good candidate in Jane Collins, who has been a friend of mine, a friend of my family for many years. So I want her to take the seat. So no, I won't be standing, almost certainly won't be standing for the European elections. But I might have a go at Westminster later, if I'm in good form, and I'm feeling in good form.
And when you say you might have a go, have you got a seat in mind, an area that you think would be one that you would be prepared to tackle, and on what issues might you stand?
Well, I've been approached by a number of constituencies, and I might stand as independent, I might stand as drivers' union, I don't know, I've only just taken on that role in the last couple of days, and of course, as Harold Wilson said, a fortnight's a long time in politics, and we're talking about 18 months. That's a long time in politics. So maybe nothing, maybe something, I don't know. We'll see how it pans out.
I'd like to ask you about your role in the Drivers' Union. You're patron now of that and playing an active role, I understand. What is your problem, if I could put it like that, or what do you think is the problem with driving rules in the UK and the way that they're enforced?
Well, it's more than that. There's lots of things. And then only in this morning in the Daily Express, the experts from Fair Fuel have found that this country, the United Kingdom, it's the most expensive place to drive a car. It's about £3,200. It's £1,500 a year, I think, more than Japan, significantly more than the United States and France. There are 30 million motorists in the United Kingdom. And it's my belief that they get ripped off. I think they're an oppressed majority, and I think nobody's speaking for them. It used to be the AA years ago, the Automobile Association, but of course they've got their hand in the till now with their speed awareness courses. They're part of the profit-making procedure. So what first of all I want to do is I want to see evidence-based road safety procedures, evidence-based, not emotion-based, and I'd like to see a redirection of resources into where they should be.
And is some of your concern in relation to that to do with things like speed cameras? And is it the profitability or element that you're particularly concerned about when it comes to road safety issues?
Well, what they did several years ago, of course, they took away one of the most experienced traffic police systems in the world. Most of the drivers' union are formed, most of its executive are ex-police drivers, with the expertise of 30 or 40 years under their belt, and they were really class. In order to save money, the Conservative government started putting cameras on sticks and taking away proper traffic policing. There's no way that a camera on a stick can suggest who caused an accident or what an accident's all about. And so all they do now is that they capture you on camera. And then, of course, this is interesting, isn't it? They say, if you do a speed awareness course, we won't give you 3 points and fine you 50 quid, it costs 80 quid, and it goes into a profit-making organisation. Well, years ago, I'm not suggesting that I did that, but if you were caught speeding by a cop, you used to poke your driving licence out of the window with a £10 note wrapped up in it. What's the difference? What's the difference? What the policeman is actually saying to you, if you give me money, or my organisation money, we won't prosecute. Where's that in our constitution, I wonder?
Just finally, I'd like to return to your work as an MEP, because you're still in the European Parliament. What are you going to be doing between now and next May?
I should be completing the role that I was elected to do in 2004 and re-elected in 2009. I should be making sure that I vote against all legislation that comes from this corrupt and appalling place, quite unconstitutionally. I will be continuing to vote in that manner for my remaining 6 months.